For this lesson, we're going to start looking at polynomial operations. Now, when I say operations, I'm talking about your basic regular arithmetic operations like adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing. We're just going to talk about specifically how to do those operations with polynomials. So we're going to look at adding polynomials, subtracting polynomials, multiplying polynomials, and we're even going to get to dividing polynomials. Now, when we divide, you'll notice that there are a couple different ways we can look at it. We're going to look at dividing polynomials just by a monomial, dividing polynomials using long division, and dividing polynomials using synthetic division. We'll go over what each of those mean. But for now, let's just jump right into adding polynomials. Now, when we are adding polynomials, we're just simply matching the terms by degree and then combining our like terms. So, for example, I have two different polynomials here, one in blue, one in red. You'll notice both of them are a degree 3, x to the third, x to the third. This one is a 3-term polynomial. There's 1, 2, 3 of them here. This has 4 terms, 1, 2, 3, 4. So if I want to add my blue polynomial onto my red polynomial, all I need to do is match the terms by degree and combine my like terms. So 2x to the third power and 3x to the third power, when I add those two together, I should get 5x to the third power. When I'm looking at my next degree then, so instead of x to the third, now I'm looking at x squared. Notice that there's no x squared over here. And notice that the one that's right here, there's kind of a hidden coefficient of 1. So it's like 1x squared. And none of them over here, so when we add them together, they're still just the 1x squared. So you can either put a 1 here, or you can just leave it as that x squared. The next space then, so degree 3, degree 2, next would be degree 1, or just simply x. Notice, this one is technically negative. We have minus 4x, so it's like negative 4x, and positive 9x. Negative 4, positive 9 would add up to make a positive 5. So positive 5x. And lastly, we look at our constants, or again, if this was degree 3, degree 2, degree 1, this would be a degree 0. We call it constants, positive 7 and negative 2. When we combine those together, 7 minus 2 makes a 5. So in the end, adding this polynomial to this polynomial, we get 5x cubed plus x squared plus 5x plus 5. Let's try another one. Again, to add polynomials, we're just matching the terms by degree and combining. So again, we've got two different polynomials here. They're both degree 4. They both have an x to the 4. And they both have 4 terms in them. So if I want to look at my degree 4 place, 8 here and negative 2 here would combine to make 6. Neither of them have an x cubed. There is no x cubed piece. So there's kind of a hidden 0x cubed, right? When we put those together, there's still nothing, but we don't even really have to mention that. We can just kind of skip over that one now and go on to our x squareds. We have 2x squared, and again, technically, this is like a 1x squared. 2x squared and 1x squared would combine to make 3x squared. Now we look at our degree 1s, or just the x's. Positive 6x, and again, there's kind of a hidden 1 right here, negative 1. Negative 1 plus that 6 would come up to a positive 5, so 5x. And lastly, let's look at our constants. Positive 8 and negative 8, technically these will add up to 0. So kind of like our x cubed, we don't even really have to mention it. If you want, you can really put a plus 0 here. Just like right here, you can put a 0x cubed, but really we don't even have to mention that. Those aren't that important just because they zero out, so I can just get rid of them completely. This would be my polynomial. When you sum this one with this one, this is what you would get. Let's go on to subtracting polynomials. Now that we've looked at adding polynomials, subtracting them will be a breeze. It's kind of in the same way, it's an opposite of it. Remember, subtraction means add the opposite. So the first thing I want you to do when you are subtracting polynomials, distribute the subtraction as a negative 1 and turn all of the minus signs into plus signs, and all the plus signs into minus signs. Okay? Then again, you're just matching the terms by degree and combine. So, again, I have a polynomial in blue minus my polynomial in red. First thing I want you to do, take this negative, distribute to each piece. So, instead of 3x cubed, it's negative 3x cubed. Instead of plus x squared, it's minus x squared. Instead of plus 9x, it's minus 9x. Instead of minus 2, it's a plus 2. We distributed this negative to each piece, and so this minus becomes a plus now. We're just saying subtraction means add the opposite of each thing. So now that we're not looking at this anymore, now look, we basically just have an addition problem. And we've kind of already mastered that addition. You just match the two terms by their degree, so x cubed and x cubed, and combine like terms. So 2 and negative 3 would become a negative 1 x cubed. Now again, if you didn't want it to be, I'll go like that. If you don't want to put the 1, you can just have negative x cubed. That is all right. Next, we need to look at our x squareds. There's no x squared here. Right here, there's a minus x squared. So our next term, x cubed minus x, negative x cubed minus x squared. Next, we need to look at our x terms, degree 1. Negative 4x, negative 9x. When we combine those, we get negative 13x, or again, minus 13x. Lastly, we look at our constants, positive 7, positive 2, combined to make a positive 9. So when we are subtracting the blue one minus the red one, this is the answer we would get. To find that, we changed it from a subtraction problem to an addition problem, but this would be the answer we get. Subtracting polynomial still. Again, we're going to do this minus, change it to a plus, and just do the opposite of each one. So negative 2 becomes positive 2. Plus x squared becomes minus x squared. Plus 6x minus 6x minus 8 becomes plus 8. Again, we're just saying subtraction means add the opposite of each one. Now again, we're just matching and combining like terms. X to the fourth, 8 and 2 make 10. There's no x to the third power on either one, so we just bypass that, go right on to our x squared, the second power. Now again, there's kind of a hidden one here and a hidden one here. So remember to think about those as your coefficients. Positive 2x squared minus 1x squared should come out to 1x squared, positive 1x squared. Or we can just call it x squared. Now we go on to our x terms, negative 1 and negative 6. Add up to a negative 7. Positive 8 and positive 8 for our constants become positive 16. So this would be our answer if we took this blue one minus this red one. Lastly, we're going to look at multiplying polynomials. When you are multiplying polynomials, you think of it as like a double distribute, or in other words, you're foiling it. We've looked at foiling before. That's basically what you're doing here. You need to make sure that each term of the first polynomial is multiplied with each term of the second. So depending on how many terms there are, this can get pretty long. So I'll show you what I mean here. If you've got this blue polynomial times this red one, notice there are 3 terms here and 4 terms here. You need to make sure all 3 of these, each one gets matched with all 4 of these. So in the end, when you first figure it out, there will be 12 terms. 3 from here, 4 from here, 3 times 4 is 12. There will be 12 terms total, and then you can combine any like terms. So let's try this out. 2x cubed times 3x cubed. Coefficients 2 and 3 make 6. X cubed and x cubed, when you multiply them, make an x to the 6th power. So 6x to the 6th. That one was this times this. Now when we go 2x cubed times x squared. Coefficient of 2 remains. X to the 3 and x to the 2 make x to the 5. When you're just multiplying this one times this one, all you need to do is add the powers. 2x cubed times 9x. 2 times 9 make 18. X cubed times x make x to the 4th. 2x cubed times negative 2, negative 4, x cubed. This one is now taken care of. We've done this with all 4 over here, so here are the 4 terms we got from it. Now we move on to this term. Remember, we can't forget that this is negative. Negative 4x times 3x cubed. Negative 4 times 3 is negative 12. X times x cubed is x to the 4th. Negative 4x times x squared is negative 4x cubed. Negative 4x times 9x is negative 36x squared. X and x is x squared. Negative 4x times negative 2 is positive 8x. Two negatives multiply to a positive. 4 and 2 make 8. This one is done now. Lastly, we go on to that 7. 7 times 3x cubed is 21x cubed. 7 times x squared is 7x squared. 7 times 9x, oops, typo here, this one should be 63x. So that one is done. And 7 times negative 2 is negative 14. Okay, now we have to go through, I bet that typo threw me off in here, that's alright. We're going to go through and combine any like terms. X to the 6th is the only one. There are no other x to the 6th, so that one is done right here. Let's look for x to the 5ths here, and that's it. So that one is done. Okay, now we need to look for x to the 4ths. We have an x to the 4th here, and an x to the 4th here. And I believe that's, am I missing one? Nope, that's it. I gotta change this then. 18 minus 12 should come out to 6. So 6x to the 4th. We can take this out and this out. Okay, now we look at x to the 3rds. Negative 4x to the 3rd, negative 4x to the 3rd. That's like negative 8 in total. Negative 8 with this one. Negative 8 plus 21 would be positive 13. So this one, and this one made this piece here. Now we go on to x squareds. Negative 36x squared plus 7x squared would make negative 29x squared. Yep, this one did have to change. Positive 8x plus 63x. This one should actually come out to 71x. Get rid of that, get rid of that. And the only constant there was, negative 14, right here at the end. So when we multiply this blue one times this red one, you can see it turns into a very large, many-termed polynomial. And that's all right. Again, this will take a while. You're distributing or foiling it out, each term from here with each term from here, and then combining any like terms. That'll close it for video 1. Now in this one we discussed how to add all of our polynomials, how to subtract polynomials, and how to multiply polynomials. In the next video we will look at how to divide.